Preet Kaur Gill.
And it's a pleasure to serve under your chairship. And can I thank my honourable friend from Aldridge, Brown Hills, for securing this debate. Birmingham is a city where I was born and raised, and one I have had the privilege to represent for the past 8 years. It is a proud, resilient city, a city of hard-working families, students, older people, businesses and communities that care deeply about the place that they call home. And yet for more than a year, those communities have been living with a broken waste collection service, overflowing bins, rising fly tipping, streets that don't feel clean or safe. These are not minor inconveniences. They are public health risks, environmental hazards and a source of stress for so many families and for those with mobility challenges, for older residents and for everyone who cares about their neighbourhoods. Last year, I wrote to the Council urging them to declare a public health emergency, and they did so. That declaration allowed government to provide support in logistics and for waste to be collected. But the reality is that this dispute has dragged on for far too long, and residents are paying the price. We need to be honest about how we got here. Years of Conservative austerity and underfunding of local government hollowed out councils like Birmingham, with nearly £1 billion of funding cut since 2010, the workforce halved, services that people relied on stretched, and resilience stripped away. And on top of that, historic equal pay liabilities, some dating back decades, have placed immense pressure on the council's finances. And these pressures are not abstract numbers. They are what shape whether residents get their bins emptied, whether streets are clean, and whether public services can function effectively. And that context matters because it explains why any solution now must be sustainable. This is about fairness. Fairness for women to be paid the same as men, and fairness for the citizens of Birmingham, knowing that their money is being spent on the services that they need. So let me be clear about my position. I am on the side of Birmingham. I am on the side of Birmingham's residents. I'm not here to take sides between the council and the union or to attack anyone involved. My concern is the people who live, work and raise families in our city and rely on a clean and reliable waste service. I support the transformation of Birmingham's waste service because before this industrial action began, I regularly received complaints from constituents about missed collections. Residents and businesses deserve a service that is modern, it's reliable, and it's got to be in line with other major cities. I do.
I thank my neighbouring Member of Parliament for giving way. In terms of fairness of pay, would she agree with me that we should not be equalising downwards, but rather women should be equalised up to the pay of what men are getting paid?
Preet Kaur Gill.
Prior to coming to this place, I worked for the City Council for many, many years, and I saw myself the impact of equal pay liabilities and how it cripples public finances. And the very services that the last Labour government invested in, children's centres were decommissioned, youth services were stripped away, and many of my communities do not want to see our City Council's public finances go in that same direction. And that is why the Council has got to take the legal advice, but the right steps to agree and come to a settled negotiation, and I will come on to that. The Council does now actually have a plan for this in terms of the transformation, including a new fleet of Council-owned vehicles, changes to how services are going to be monitored, and a phased rollout of a new collection model from June 2026. But transformation cannot mean endless disruption, and it cannot come at the cost of reopening equal pay liabilities that would put the Council back into crisis, and it would risk hundreds of millions more being taken away from public services. And let me say, this is taxpayers' money that we are talking about. So our government also has a role to play, and having raised the issue of fair funding for Birmingham with ministers, I was pleased to see that the local government finance settlement increased the core spending power of the Council by over £650 million over the next 3 years. But ministers must also now hold Birmingham's commissioners to account. They must bring both sides back to the table and reach a negotiated settlement. Leadership and accountability are required at every level. Next week, I will be meeting directly with Unite workers to hear their perspective, to understand the challenges that they face and to make sure that their voices are part of any solution. But let me be clear, residents, not politics, must be the priority. So my message to all parties is simple. Enough is enough. It is time to return to the table in good faith. It is time for negotiation, for compromise and for delivery. And the Council, the Commissioners, the workers and union leadership all have a responsibility to make this happen. And the government must ensure that the conditions are in place for a settlement to succeed, alongside holding Commissioners to account to secure agreement, not stalemate. Birmingham is a proud city. Its people are patient. But that patience has been tested long enough. It's time to end this dispute, and it's time to restore a reliable waste service that puts residents and businesses first. Thank you.